Yeah, it's phenomenal. Really good. No, I did not put Oye Traoré on that list. Neither did I put this Köln player that I want to talk about, who we maybe mentioned before already on the show, Said Mala. But I suspect, Stefan, that maybe in a couple of years, if the Guardian lets me keep voting, I might have to put Karl, El Mala, and Oye Traoré on this list. This game, I mean, what a game of football. 3-4 Frankfurt win. It looked so comfortable for Frankfurt. We were up 4-1 at one point, and then Köln brought on Said Al-Mala. And, if a 4-4 at the end of the day, that really wouldn't have been unjustified, I think. We had this argument after the game, should Al-Mala have started? Because once he did come on, Köln just played way better. And you made the point that, he's been better off the bench. And I understand what you mean because, like the way he comes on and just changes the game and has the ability to really run at opponents' defenses, his crossing technique. There's one player that comes to mind who could cross the ball like that. And Elmala is nothing like this player, but, that crossing technique is almost the same as Sebastian Deisler, who could just out of nowhere just cross the ball with such finesse. Is something that I think is spectacular to watch. And I guess that really, as amazing as this game was, from a neutral perspective, and I saw Köln fans who were just up and applauding and really going with it as well. I guess the question is, what are they going to do with Al-Mala? Like, do you start him more often? Do you keep him where he's at right now on the bench and bring him on as a weapon late in the second half? Like, it's a good debate to have, isn't it?
I mean, the simple answer to what FC Köln are going to do with El Mala is they're going to sell him. Yeah, they're going to sell him immediately.
I mean, that is a good answer too, and they're going to sell him as soon as anyone, name the amount.
As soon as anyone dangles 20 to 30 million,
no, it's going to be more than that.
Sell him.
It's going to be a lot more than that, I think.
But no, you're right. That is the debate: start him or not. He did change the game when he came on, and like you said, particularly his penetration and his crossing, that really short backlift he has. I know we have to be so careful about just comparing these young players to the most ridiculous of names, and Uli Hoeneß told everyone off for comparing Leonard Carl to Messi, so he can happily tell me off for comparing Said El-Mala to Ronaldo. But I only mean it purely in the sense of this crossing style with the very short backlift that he has, striking the ball with a very straight leg, short backlift, and getting that sort of dip on the ball. Perfect example is Cologne's third goal.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, where he puts that cross in, so I think he demonstrates that perfectly there. So again, just for clarity, I'm absolutely not comparing Said El-Mala to Cristiano Ronaldo. Just making that comparison of his
Deisler. Stick to Germans. Deisler.
Yeah. And he did change the game. Even apart from that, he hit the post. So yeah, he definitely made a difference. We've seen his talent as well. His goals against Hoffenheim away was the big one that he scored. On the other hand, the counter argument is that there are games in which he started, which he's been much less effective. Just before the international break, I was at the derby away at Mönchengladbach when Joe Scally, right back for Gladbach, completely took Said El-Mala out of the game, to the point where he was taken off at half time, and Lucas Kwasniok said afterwards, straight up, word for word, I took him off because he wasn't very good today. And that's how easy it can be done. The week before that, I think I'm right in saying, it was the Hamburg game. Hamburg doubled up on him really, really well for 60 odd minutes until they went down to 9 men. At which point Cologne then tore them apart, but it was 11 against 9. So yeah, there have been enough occasions when El-Mala has started games and hasn't had the impact that he's had off the bench, and that's one of the things that differentiates him from Leonard Carl, for example. Although they are not entirely the same player, but in terms of impact as a starter, I think Leonard Carl has been much more impressive on that note. But yeah, I think it's a debate which is ongoing in Cologne, and we'll see how that progresses. It was a mad game. I don't think I've seen many games end 4-3 when they've had such large periods where nothing happened
Well, everything happened in the second half.
Well, yeah, in very short moments. Obviously, you had the Cologne's opener was in the first 5 minutes, when everyone was focused on the atmosphere boycott anyway. And then pretty much nothing happens until half time, just before half time, and Frankfurt score 2. Really, really impressive how I think Frankfurt moved their press higher and higher up the pitch and forced Cologne into mistakes. Because I think as confident and as how brave and reckless Cologne can be, they also make mistakes, and that certainly happened ahead of the second Frankfurt goal. And then you had the Johnny Burkhardt show in the first 10-15 minutes of the second half. Absolutely outstanding. And again, I'm going to draw that Harry Kane comparison in the build-up to, I think it must have been the first Burkhardt goal, where he spreads the ball out wide to Ritsu Doan with a fantastic pass. Doan beats Lunt on the right and crosses in, and Burkhardt has made the late run into the front post. Absolutely outstanding goal. And
the little Cruyff turn for a second was outstanding.
The Cruyff turn for the second was absolutely outstanding, and he could have had a third. He had a header which was tipped over the bar by Marvin Schwaber in the first half. So he has that side to his game as well. One of the most impressive signings of the season, surely, Johnny Burkhardt at Frankfurt.
But that was never in doubt. I think we all knew that, right? To answer your question about how much money Köln are going to get for Said Al-Mala, under contract until 2030, no release clause. So when you said 30 million euros, I would at least double that.
Sure, they'll try.
It will probably not only break Köln's transfer record, it will absolutely shatter it. If Stuttgart got 75 million euros from Nick Woltemade.
Yeah. They're not exactly a club known for selling players, though, are they? Like Anthony Modeste still the record signing or selling. That was to some dodgy Chinese deal, So, and do you know what's second after that?
One of the most Cologne sales ever. That how they came out of that.
Do you know who's second on the list after that?
Lucas Podolski
in 2012. So
12 million, right?
This seemed to be the only German club that have never sold any decent players in the last 5 or 6 years.
That's because the last good player they brought through, they sold him to Leverkusen for 400,000.
Yeah, well,
we'll see. Is he good?
I don't know. I don't know where he ended up.
Don't ask Liverpool fans that's for sure.
No, but
can I before we wrap up, guys? Just 2 things from me on this game, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Well, actually 3. Echo what Matt said about Burkhardt. He looked fantastic, and I think he needed that because I think he'd coming off the back of 3 or 4 games without scoring. Great to see Mahmoud Dahoud on the score sheet as well, who's kind of making a slow and steady return to form in German football after kind of burning out a wee bit. But also just the fact that, we had a lot of praise for Cologne. Manu when we did that kind of bonus show on the power rankings, and how I was saying that Kwasniok's done a really good job actually with Cologne and picking up the points in the games that they should be picking up points. But I think they obviously ran Frankfurt absolutely ragged in this game and could have ended up picking up a point, which would have probably been deserved for sure. A Frankfurt team, by the way, who'd only conceded 2 goals in the last 5 games going into this game, and we'd kind of given them quite a lot of praise recently, saying that they'd maybe sorted that, but far from it. And, in kind of classic, fashion, Robin Koch and Arthur Thiat are probably pound for pound the most entertaining centre-back duo in the Bundesliga this season, because
in the opposition box as well, if you look at Thiat's header, I have no idea whether he meant that or not.
Yeah, he did that. He also set up the goal for Burkhardt's second with a beautiful long ball, and this is why he's so highly rated. And he actually gave an interview with Kicker, I think, this week, saying that he turned down offers this season from 2 or 3 clubs to stay at Frankfurt. And he's, if someone could just teach the guy how to follow a runner and mark in the box, he'd be world class. I honestly think that, because going forward, he's an outstanding centre half, but the guy can't defend to save himself. Or if he could, he's picking up all the long lessons from Robert Koch, and it's causing havoc for Frankfurt. But they got out of this one alive for now. But yeah, I think Cologne, off the back of this and already early performances, look like they should be absolutely fine this season, assuming they don't sell any wonder kids in January.
No, I think
I'm a little bit more sort of confident regarding Frankfurt than you are, I think, Stefan. I think I wouldn't, apart from the last 10 minutes, I wouldn't say they were sort of blown away by Cologne. I thought they, after the early shock, I thought they worked themselves into the game really, really well. However, they are a bit of a wild, incomplete sort of team, as I mentioned. I'm not entirely convinced by a midfield two of Chaibi and Dahoud. I agree, it's great seeing back on the score sheet, but it was quite a porous midfield. The front three, I think, are good. There's definitely goals in there. Doan, Knauf and Burkhardt. Mario Götze has one of his quieter games, drifting out to the right quite a lot, if memory serves correctly. But yeah, to almost throw that away from a position of leading 4-1, it looks dramatic, but then again, I thought it was maybe a little bit flattering on Frankfurt that they were even 4-1 up in the first place. But then again, they're 5 Bundesliga games unbeaten now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's some stability coming into that. So fair play to them.
My final point, maybe to wrap also up the show, I think with Eintracht Frankfurt, there's a thing that I noticed that they are, and you put it in this article, the Launische Diva from mine, right? The how did you translate it? You had a really good translation for it.
The
moody diva, the
moody
diva from
the
mine.
Moody Diva. I prefer that one, I think. Yeah. The Moody Diva.
The Moody Diva, and I think they are very moody this year, and they have this ability to be really aggressive, fast, attacking, and to be a spectacle like they were against Galatasaray. But they also really struggle when they face teams that just go with them on that level in the attack. When the opponent goes fast and hard and physical at them, they exactly what they do to other teams really hurts them. We saw that against Galatasaray when they beat Galatasaray 5-1. We saw it when they lost to 5-1 to Liverpool, and we saw both of it in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
You know that when Köln decided to bring on a guy who was fast and physical, like Elmaler, all of a sudden they wavered and they're like, oh no, they're doing with us what we usually do with others, and they don't seem to really have a solution for it. And I think
even I think it was said on Friday night, even the first goal was similar to that.
Yeah, 100%. It was hard. Like the way Agner worked that goal in is a really, really good example for that. So yeah, that's maybe my final thought on Frankfurt. It was a spectacular game, and no one should ever say that we don't cover Köln, because I think we did a good job here.
I feel like we cover Cologne quite a lot. It's good to talk about Frankfurt for once.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys, let's wrap this up. We're over an hour.